Talks with Noelle. Talks with Noelle. Word of a day, word of a day. Yeah, yeah. Who get a vibe? Who be the vibe? Talks with Noelle.
Hi guys, welcome back to a new season of Talks with Noelle. I am your host, Noelle Francesca, and here at Talks with Noelle, we deep dive into deep and powerful conversations with the change makers, with those that are shaping our culture, creativity, community. Everybody and anybody that we feel is doing something and impacting a group of people is welcome on Talks with Noelle. Today, I am your guest. I am your host and your guest, so welcome to myself and welcome to you two for joining us. Today I'm just going to talk about the vision behind Talks with Noelle, why I chose to start Talks with Noelle. So for those of you who have been following us from beginning, Talks with Noelle launched on the 7th of May 2019. The idea, although, was birthed in 2018. So obviously you guys know we went into lockdown 2020. So before that, one problem that I noticed before, I was a radio presenter with DJ Special D. Shout out to DJ Special D on a special delivery show. And one problem that we had was that whenever we wanted guests to come in, we would realize that sometimes it was hard to get them in. So you might see like a poster, right? And it says, oh, person X and X is coming to London. And we're getting excited, sending emails. Hey, when you're in town, let us know. Who do we contact? We want to have you on radio, blah, 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 all of this, right? And they don't get their visa or something comes up and then it can't come. So it's like, oh man, we can't get them. And then sometimes too, when they were in town, they were in here for a short time, or like their management was just like, well, you know, you're not really up there. Like you're not A-list. So we're not sure how it would benefit him coming to your show, whatever. So the idea literally came to me in 2018. The whole idea of Talks with Noelle was to have conversations with personnels without them needing to have a visa, without them needing to cross oceans or cross borders to come here. So it makes sense, right? Because we were talking to them on Instagram Live. So for those of you that have been following us from way back, you would realize that Talks with Noelle started on Instagram. So on the 7th of May 2019, Talks with Noelle launched. Talks with Noelle! And it was so good. Like, I had so many people come on and the support was crazy. So guys, this time around, I need you guys to bring that same energy, bring that same support back to me, right? I need you guys to give me that same support. So we're launching again. This time is live, is in person. And I'm going to be joined by some of the most amazing people that I've come across. I've been so blessed that I've walked the path, and every path or every journey that I've found myself in, I always come into contact with somebody that has like a crazy story or somebody that's just like dope, you know? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you have stories. Oh my gosh, I like that. And one thing about me is I love a good story. We've just evolved. So whilst we were on Instagram Live, we did 6 seasons, I believe. So some of you might remember some of the seasons. We had Ramel London, we had Bissa Kings, we had Gracie May come on, we had Kiddy, we had Kwame Eugene come on as well. In between those live sessions, me and Special D also did some sessions, live sessions for Akwaba UK, where we had Kwabna, Kofi Kanata, and some other people come on to interview. Now, the crazy thing is, how did the vision come to me? So apart from spotting this problem, which I told you earlier, that sometimes you just want people to come on the show and you can't get them to come, or they can't get visas to get into the country or whatever. It came to me in a bath one time, and initially I wanted to call it Who Am I? Because I wanted to explore the person outside of what we know them for. So for example, if we were talking to like Nelly, right? So his stage name, his performance name is Nelly, but off stage he's Keneal Hayes, I believe, Keneal Hayes. So I wanted to know Keneal Hayes and not Nelly. So that was the whole purpose of Talks with Noelle. Because some people think that creatives are like intellectual rejects, and we're not. We're actually not, right? Our brain just works and functions differently because we're so focused on creating stuff, right? So we're not. So that's the reason, one of the reasons why I started Talks with Noelle. Let me get to know you off camera. Let me get to know you when you're not being the Grammy winner, the performance based. Let me get to know you when you're just you. When the lights go off and it's just you, who are you, right? So that's the whole point of Talks with Noelle. So that's how we started Talks with Noelle. So the idea came to me in 2018. It was birthed, it was launched in 2019. And then obviously, as you guys know, 2020, lockdown, COVID, they said everybody stay in your house, nobody going anywhere. You're not going, you're not coming, everybody inside. Then I thought, this is amazing, because as crazy as God gave me this idea in 2018, 2019, I launched it. Nobody was doing Instagram live shows at that time. It was just me that was doing it. And then all of a sudden, 2020 lockdown, everybody's doing shows. Tory Lane started his lockdown show. I forgot the name of it, but he started his lockdown show. People were doing interviews. All celebrities were online. Like, everybody was coming online, because that's the only way that you can interact with people. And that's the only way that you could possibly talk to people. And I remember sitting there, somebody sent me a DM actually in 2020. Shout out to SB Dignified. He sent me a DM and he said, Noelle, you are way ahead of time. Because how did you know that something like this would happen where everybody would have to come online? And I said to him, bro, I'm not even going to lie to you. This idea came to me in the shower and I was just playing on it. And God kept telling me to do this thing. And I just started. And then, yeah, that was the birth of Talks with Noelle. So like I said, we did 2019, 2020. I believe our last season was in 2021. So we shot 6 seasons, 2 seasons every year. And then obviously my grandma, may her soul rest in peace, passed away in 2020. Now, if you know me very, very well, me and my grandma are like 5 and 6, right? Me and this woman talk every day. So even when she passed, it was hard for me to believe, because I'd literally spoken to her like a day or 2 before. And then I'd called her phone, she wasn't picking up, and I was thinking, what's going on? And then I'm just told she's passed. And I'm like, hey, you guys, is this a prank? Are you guys kidding me? Like, what are you guys talking about? But anyway, when my grandma passed in 2020, I was like, you know what, let me just finish hard, because she would want me to. So I did my best. I finished season 3 and 4. 2021, I did season 5 and 6. And sometimes you feel like you don't really go through your grieving process properly. So yeah, instead of like proper grieving, I didn't. I just kept myself busy. And because of how close I was with my grandma, I just knew that if it came to grieving, it was going to be hard. I just knew that it was going to be a madness. So I took a break, and obviously at that time as well, we had come off radio again, because you couldn't be outside. So everybody was in-house. So we had come off radio. So I wasn't doing radio, and I stopped doing Talks with Noelle. When I did my last season, which was season 6, I just ended it. I just needed a break to clear my head. So I was now it had really hit me like, yo, my grandma's gone. I don't know why it took like a year. That's when it had hit me, and I was like, rah. And those that know me will testify that I was in a shell. So like, I wasn't outside like I used to be. And people be like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. But deep down, I was battling with my emotions. Like, it was really taking a toll on me. I mean, apart from, and I tried to keep busy, but I think on top of not having time to fully grieve and trying to keep busy, I ended up being burnt out. And that's when I was just like, yo, when like, I don't want to say you don't have the will to live, right? Because I never thought of committing suicide or anything, but you just can't be asked. Like, you just cannot be bothered. It's just like, you just wake up, you're like, yeah, whatever happens, innit? Like, whatever, we're just going to go with the flow of the day. So, yeah, whatever comes my way sort of thing. Like, there was no passion, there was no energy, there was no joy. It was just, yeah, man, what is what it is, whatever. So that was like 2022. Yeah, because like end of December 21, beginning 2022. And I was like, yo, so within that time too, I was still, trying to be in my creative bag and do stuff. So I did like a podcast, a no title podcast. Shout out to Holla Maneuver. It was his pod and he just put me on. So I did a couple episodes of that. I did Up and Running. I actually fell into acting. So I did drama in school and I loved it and everything. A-star student, did it for A-levels, banged. But yeah, I did a series called Up and Running. You can find that on YouTube at MAMS Multimedia. So that's MAMS Multimedia is on there. It's called Up and Running. I did a little bit of that as well. And then that happened, 2022. I was still trying to create, but I'll be honest, it was hard for me to create. Like, I was experiencing serious creative block. So this was in my writing as well. So for those of you that know, some of you know, I used to do, like, I write poetry from time to time in spoken word, and it was really hard for me to write. Nothing was coming to me. So I was just like, yo, this is deep. So, all of that being said, I just took a break, and a friend of mine was like, you know what, just go and see a therapist. And obviously, as you guys know, or they would say, Black people don't do therapy, we do church. We don't go to therapy, we go to church. But I just felt like, in as much as I'm going to church and everything, I'm praying and everything, I just needed to speak to someone. And I'm so grateful that I have a community of people around me that are very supportive. So I could just go and tell them, X and X was happening, and they'll support me. Shout out to all of them. I was going to say names, but I just realized if I say names, we'll be long. We'll be here for a long time. But you guys know yourself. So shout out to everybody that was holding me down. So I started to see a therapist, and we were talking. And the first 2 sessions of therapy, it was awkward because this woman was trying to get into my feelings and like get to know me and like asking me bare questions. And I was just thinking like, bro, like, you're just chatting. Like, what do you want? Like, why are you on me? What's your problem? Like, she was bare asking me questions like, what was your childhood like? How did you grow up? Blah, blah, blah. All of this, that, the other. And I was just thinking, bro, like, you need to relax with your questions. You get like, so the first 2 sessions with therapy was just, honestly, I think the lady was, to be honest, I think she was tired of me because she was just thinking like, bro, you're here for therapy. We're meant to talk. So, you get to like, let out your emotions. And I wasn't trying to do that. I was thinking, you don't know me like that. So I'm not trying to talk to you like that. So I think it was like our 3rd or 4th session. And I remember after our 3rd session, I think I did 6 sessions. I lied. I was meant to do 6 sessions. I did 5. After the 5th session, I was like, yeah, I'm good. So I never went back. So Tracy, if you're watching this, I am so sorry. I'm going to call you. We're going to schedule that last session because I like to finish what I start, right? And this came up and I want to finish what I start. So I'm going to call you and we're going to finish that last session. So anyway, it was 6 sessions. I did 5. I'm going to go back and finish my last one. I did 5 and then I was all good. So I was like, yeah. But anyway, it was like my 3rd or 4th session that she was like to me, this is the session where I feel like I've actually got to know you for real, because prior to this, I wasn't too sure. I didn't feel like I knew you. And I sat there and I was like, wow. And like that session was so deep because we actually went into grief, and spoke about the passing of my grandma and all of that stuff. And it was an emotional session, man. But it was good. It worked. It helped me. I was able to let go of certain emotions that I was holding that I didn't know I had. I was able to grieve, long story short. So I was able to grieve. So that was that. So that was therapy was last year, 2014, 2024. Yeah, therapy was last year. So we did all of that. And then this year I was like, let's get it back up and running. But to be fair, it had been in my mind for time to start this podcast again because I feel like when I finished my grievance session, when I finished my healing session, and I was on the stage to recovery, I feel like people could see it and people knew. So people started coming to me to ask, when's Talks with Noelle coming back? When's Talks with Noelle coming back? Hey, what's happening with TWN? When are you back? Like, what's happening? Is the show coming back? This, that, the other. And people would message me that I had no relationship with online. Like, they would DM the NFTV page or DM me and be like, oh, when's your show coming back? Or I have person X in town and I'd love for you to interview him on the show, this, that, the other. And I was just like, you know what, God, I think I get it. I think this is time for me to, start the show back up. Let me get back into doing the show like, you wanted me to. So long story short, I went through the process, started looking for places that we could possibly do the show, started shopping around, looking for the studio that I could work with, all of that good stuff, comparing prices, XYZ, all of that stuff. And then boom, here we are. Talks with Noelle season 7 is back. And it's so crazy, yeah? And this only came to me earlier today. It's so crazy that I'm doing season 7 of Talks with Noelle in 2025. And Talks with Noelle launched on the 7th of May, 2019. 0705. And I'm doing season 7 in 2025. That is so crazy to me. I was just like, rah. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy and excited to introduce this new season of Talks with Noelle to you. So this new season of Talks with Noelle is going to be amazing. It's going to be a vibe. It's going to be fun. It's going to be educational. Some of your favorites are going to be back. You're going to meet new people on their journey. It's going to be informative. You're going to learn so much, and I'm excited. The first day I came back, sat in this chair, started to record. I just looked at the cameras. I said, whoo, what a day it has been. Like, it just reminded me of the love that I have for this thing that I'm doing. I'm quite passionate about it. And as you watch the interviews, as you listen to the conversations we're having, I'm pretty sure that you're gonna experience it and you're gonna see it as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, Talks with Noelle is officially back. Talks with Noelle season 7, we're launching. So sit back, enjoy the ride. But before you come off this page today, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like, I need you to comment, I need you to subscribe, and I need you to share this. You can find us on Noelle Francesca TV. Guys, I've got merch, Come on, like, I'm doing this thing for real, Look, listen, look. I'm doing this thing for real. NFTV, type that in, Noelle Francesca TV on YouTube. You will find me. And then when you get there, make sure you're watching Talks with Noelle, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, it has been your host, Noelle Francesca. Thank you so much for riding with me through the ups, the downs, and all of it. And I guarantee you guys, you are in for a treat. You're going to enjoy the season as much as I have. So yeah, without any further ado, welcome back to Talks with Noelle. I am your host, Noelle Francesca, and thank you guys so much for being here today. Like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share. Mwah!
Talks with Noelle. Talks with Noelle.